I don't think I have any more announcements with you or for you this week than I had last week. But as you may realize, I'm doing two podcasts in one day. Um, but I do want to maybe continue with the message I was sharing with you last time we talked. But this time I'm going to read from, well, now it's last Sunday's Gospel, from Mark chapter 7, verse 31 and following. Again, Jesus left the district of Tyre, and he went by way of Sidon to the Sea of Galilee, into the district of the Decapolis. And people brought to him a deaf man who had a speech impediment. And they begged him to lay his hand on him. He took him off by himself away from the crowd. He put his finger into the man's ears, and spitting, he touched his tongue. And then he looked up to heaven and groaned and said to him, Ephphatha, that is, be opened. And immediately the man's ears were opened. His speech impediment was removed, and he spoke plainly. He ordered them not to tell anyone. But the more he ordered them not to tell, the more they proclaimed it. They were exceedingly astonished, and they said, He has done all things well. He makes the deaf hear and the mute speak. The gospel of the Lord. Now, again, continuing from our last time together, Jesus certainly is healing. However, there's prayer, first of all, involved here. Intercession. This is Mark's gospel. Last time we talked, it was Luke's gospel. But there's a similar situation here where we are told that when he goes to heal Peter's mother-in-law, it was because the people interceded with him. Here we have people brought to him a deaf man who had a speech impediment, and they begged him to lay his hand on them. So there's intercession again going on from, if you will, the body of Christ, the believers around him. So in our healings, the most effective healings, certainly they come from people of faith, even more strongly than our own personal faith or lack thereof, comes from others lifting us up before God for healing. Now again, he isn't healing us physically or casting the devil out of us or giving us calm, presence of mind, healing psychologically or emotionally. He's not doing that for its own sake. Those are just highway markers. They're pointing us to the kingdom that he has come to proclaim. That's it. And this healing of the mute and deaf man, very significant. I don't say it's only symbolic, but the significance is his ears are opened and his mouth is opened, and his speech impediment is removed, and he could speak plainly. Right after Mark says that he could speak plainly, the next line is, but he tells him not to tell anyone. Now, I'm sure there is some practical reason for that, not the least of which, the sooner the authorities hear about him, they're going to get rid of him. But he has some work to do yet, and that's proclaiming the kingdom, not to do a lot more healings. That's not his purpose. He's pointing us to the kingdom where no healings are needed anymore, where tears are no more, where sadness and mistakes and sins are all gone. We don't need any of the stuff that he's doing here on earth and that we need somewhat. And when this man has his ears and his mouth opened. He sees it all. He hears it all. He's looking into the face of all, of everything, God himself. What more could he ask for? What more could he do? Well, of course he will. We are told at the end of the story, the more he was told not to, or they were told not to, they did. And ultimately, that's what God does expect of you. He expects it of me, that we keep going till our last breath, proclaiming the kingdom, even though each of us might feel that he or she is presently living in a desert. But remember, that's where he is. He's in our deafness, he's in our muteness, he's in our despair, he's in our failure. Yes, he's in all the good stuff, but that good stuff passes away this side of the kingdom. The good stuff that lasts forever, that's what we're here for. And most of that you can't see, you can't touch, you can't hear, except in the love we show one another. God bless you.